So this might just be the worst decision that Lucasfilm has ever made, and when I say Lucasfilm, I'm talking about Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland for the Acolyte TV series that is all set and ready to arrive by early 2024 into mid-2024. It really is all highly dependent on the factors of post-production and some of the reshoots that are planned for the fall of this year. It really is going to depend on those two big situations. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and let's get right into the overall subject here. Now, as you all know, the Acolyte series is going to be one of the most controversial shows out there, unfortunately, but true. And given that Leslye Headland is the showrunner of this thing, she's doing a lot of things by copying and stealing specific elements from other franchises and throwing it into Star Wars. Number one, we do know that the Acolyte is basically going to be Frozen meets The Matrix meets other franchises out there. She even stated that it's going to have elements of a lot of other franchises that she would refuse to actually tell us, but so far it is Frozen meets The Matrix. And oh, she also mentioned Kill Bill. That's another thing. So what's interesting about all of this involves one big aspect related to one of the endings that were shot for the Acolyte, one of the two, by the way, that's going to be a lead up to the final frame of the series that is a direct ripoff of the popular franchise Mission Impossible. Let's dive into this. As crazy as it sounds, this actually did happen behind closed doors. Now, with both Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland still working on the Acolyte, they have been developing one of the two endings shot for the series that they are still choosing on. One of the big endings that were shot that is close to becoming the final one for the Acolyte involves Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye completely copying a big moment from Mission Impossible 2. And to really get a reference of this, guys, you might want to look up a clip on the internet called Mission Impossible 2 Stop Mumbling. Alright. Now, on top of this, the scene takes place inside of a Sith temple locked away on a hidden Sith-oriented world from the past that is based on one in Star Wars Legends. Two Sith allies, a master and apprentice, are said to have captured a Jedi, a main Jedi character in the series that holds a secret Sith holocron in his possession, with valuable information that he was trying to bring back to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. It's here where the Sith who captured the Jedi drags him before the Sith Master. It's in this moment where the Sith Master tortures the Jedi using Force Choke that eventually, in a big surprising moment and twist, the Sith Master strikes down one of the main heroes in the storyline, the Jedi in capture. The fans are led to believe that this is the Jedi that is now dead, where the Sith Master notices something very off about the Jedi's hand, however. The Sith Master notices the dead Jedi has a bionic hand with a glove over it. The same glove and bionic hand that the Sith apprentice has. As it turns out, the scene involves a moment in which it's unveiled that the dead Jedi is really a dead Sith apprentice that was killed by the Master inadvertently. Since the Sith was posed as the Jedi with a mask over his face to trick the Sith Master into destroying the apprentice. So let me just kind of put this into perspective. You guys might be a little confused what is really going on here. Leslye Headland and Kathleen Kennedy are literally stealing and ripping off Mission Impossible 2's big climactic event, or big twist, if you will. I don't know if you guys ever saw Mission Impossible 2. Like I said before, look up a clip called Mission Impossible 2 Stop Mumbling. Basically what happens, to put it in short and more simple here, a Sith apprentice captures a Jedi, brings him before the Sith Master. Sith Master kills the Jedi, thinking that he really is the Jedi, but he notices that there's something off. His hand has the same bionic hand that the Sith apprentice has. It turns out that the Jedi was that the Sith, essentially, the Sith apprentice was actually all along the one that died by the hands of the Master. Basically, what Leslye Headland and Kathleen Kennedy are doing is they are copying the whole Mission Impossible mask-off tradition. I don't know if you guys ever saw that in the Mission Impossible movies. It happens in almost every single film. And basically what Leslye and Kathleen Kennedy did here is that they literally copied the moment from MI2 where the same exact thing basically happens here. So essentially, what's really apparent now is that Leslye Headland is making it clear that basically now the Acolyte is a mixture of The Matrix meets Frozen meets Kill Bill meets Mission Impossible. And I don't really know where to begin about this show. I mean, this sounds like the worst choice of all time in the Star Wars franchise, if you guys want to ask me. They also did this something similar-ish, I guess you could say, in Captain America. They kind of did this, but the mask was more or less of a hologram that was deactivated and then activated. But I digress. Moving to the next big thing here is this. Now, the Jedi all along survived and was sporting a mask to pose as the Sith apprentice by the Anzellans, to mimic the Sith, to be the lead-up to the ending where the Jedi actually gathers the crucial information via the holocron from the Acolytes. Though the ending is a direct ripoff from Mission Impossible 2, Leslye Headland was very proud of this overall climax to the actual series that leads up to the final moments. So in the end, basically what's happening here is that the Acolyte is a mashup of all these different movies, be it Kill Bill, The Matrix, Frozen, and now the latest Mission Impossible. I don't even know where to begin on this show. It's going to come out next year, and I don't believe it's going to come out until at least the summer of 2024, because we know that there are going to be reshoots that will be happening by this fall. There's going to be a lot of essential moments that need to be reshot, even though they wrapped up filming just recently. Things need to be redone here and there. The same exact thing will apply for Skeleton Crew, by the way, which is still slated for release by this fall. Alright, so this November is what they're aiming for, maybe early December, right before the holidays. So looking forward to what's going to go on with that, to see what Kathleen Kennedy is going to wreck next, to be honest. So, look, I'm all for what John and Dave are creating with Ahsoka. I think it's going to be a hit. Because at the end of the day, John and Dave just know how Star Wars works. They know the philosophy. They're following George Lucas's vision. Somebody like Leslye Headland doesn't want to follow his traditions and his philosophy and vision of the franchise. This is exactly why Leslye finds it easier to just steal elements from other shows or movies out there and to throw it into the Acolyte series. It's kind of similar, by the way, to what Rian Johnson did with The Last Jedi. You guys may or may not know this, but I believe it was Escape from LA, that movie with Kurt Russell. It might be Escape from New York. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the ending of one of those movies is literally the ending of The Last Jedi, where he poses as a hologram. You have all this firepower going upon him. They realize he's not really there, and he's used as a distraction. Literally, Rian Johnson picked and chose that moment from those movies to use for the ending of The Last Jedi. Same applies to Leslye Headland here. So, I would like to hear what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
From night to